We've got some new video to share with you. Yikes. That's not the kind of fountain you want to have in your neighborhood. And look at this. Water levels getting up to the base of cars. Don't want to flood your engine. Lots of scenes that unfortunately just kind of tell the story. We have a life-threatening flooding situation unfolding across the southeast. Mississippi and Alabama have been taking the brunt of the rainfall for the last several hours. Just as a reminder, it is never safe to walk or drive through flooded roadways. I know sometimes you just got to get to where you need to go, but as you can see here, most likely that water was deeper than that car was anticipating. On VIPIR Radar, I've got you zoomed in over Mississippi and Alabama. You can see from the colors the intensity of the rainfall rates. When we dove into those details a few minutes ago, we were looking at rainfall rates 6, 7, 8 inches per hour. So that's putting down an impressive amount of rain in too short of an amount of time. And think about also the fact that this area is super saturated. So that's the loop for the past hour. I want to take you back 4 hours. Notice here how that train of rain from north of Jackson to about Birmingham, Alabama. Folks, this is 4 hours where that rain has been sitting over the same spots. That's what's leading to the flash flooding concerns across much of the area. And Chris will show you those alerts in just a moment. Now, thankfully, we don't have any active severe thunderstorm warnings in place. We've had a few off and on throughout the day, but nothing active at the moment. But just remember, on top of the flooding threat, that that's still a concern for us here today. Okay. Everything else that's going on, mid-Atlantic, northeast, we've got that northern side of the moisture. Temperatures, though, mild enough to support rain anywhere from Lexington to D.C. to New York and to Boston. With the exception of a couple snow flurries into the peaks of New England, again, we're primarily looking at rain up and down the eastern seaboard. Now, one state that's really interesting today is Texas. We've got that severe potential down near Austin and Waco. And then in the Panhandle, we're looking at snow. Wintry mix at the moment outside of Lubbock, extending towards Amarillo, where we've now transitioned over to snowfall. We've got a lot more snow on the way for parts of the southern plains, and we'll talk about that forecast in just a moment. Moisture continues into New Mexico, Arizona, and very southern California. That's Pacific Ocean fed. And then we've got a smattering of snow here and there, anywhere from Colorado all the way up to the Canadian border. So again, focal point, all eyes are on the southeast. Here's another perspective. Yazoo City, Mississippi. Widespread standing water in places it shouldn't be. Yeah, and part of the concern here, and you've been alluding to this here, Vicki, and as we have all day long here on Weather Nation, this is just the beginning. So unfortunately, hopefully we maybe see a little less rain than we're anticipating, but unfortunately we're going to be adding quite a bit of rainfall to areas that, as you can already see there, folks, are under a considerable amount of water. The soil saturated from the rainfall that we saw last week and through the weekend in some cases, and now we're adding just buckets and buckets of water to many of these same spots. That's why we're looking at such a widespread array here of flash flood warnings extending from about Fort Payne, Gadsden, Alabama, all the way west there into northern parts of Louisiana. And I would imagine that we'll see this continue to fill on in. Birmingham on south and west, as well as into the Tuscaloosa areas. We're looking, National Weather Service office out of Birmingham is saying it is a life-threatening situation for this central swath here of Alabama. Have had numerous reports of that flash flooding, and considerable flash flood warning tag is in association with those warnings. So again, this is going to be a serious situation that will not only probably be in place for the remainder of your day today, but this will probably last into your Tuesday, Wednesday, and early Thursday. Here's what's still to come, and this is through Tuesday night here, folks. This doesn't go out through the remainder of the whole event here, because we're going to be seeing more heavy rainfall, as I mentioned, Wednesday night and your Thursday morning. But there's that narrow swath right around Coleman, Alabama, on west of the Golden Triangle of northeast Mississippi. We could be seeing an additional 5-6 inches of rainfall on top of what you've already seen. Again, we're just showing you that video from Yazoo City, Mississippi. Again, want to emphasize that that may be just the beginning in a lot of these areas. Knock on wood that we don't see quite as much rain as what we were just showing you a second ago, but that is the current forecast. Meantime, slight risk, a level 2 risk in place for parts of Louisiana, central and western Mississippi for your day today.
today. That is a level 2 on a 0 to 5 scale. Damaging winds are main concern, but we could see some tornadoes within this zone. This is where we're going to be closest to our area of low pressure. We're going to get that natural spin, and that's why we're looking at that area as potentially the area with that heightened risk for some tornadic activity. Area low pressure continues to draw moisture out of the Gulf and also brings us, as I mentioned, that natural spin at the surface, and that'll lead to some of those showers and thunderstorms pushing east along I-20 and also along the I-30 corridor of northern Louisiana, as well as in through far northeastern Texas. Those showers and storms push east, but the problem is we're seeing more of that heavy rainfall. It's on these same spots for your Tuesday, for your Wednesday, and your early Thursday. Now, into West Texas, we are seeing some of that rain as well. But Viki, this will likely change over to maybe for us in Lubbock a bit of ice or perhaps a bit of snow.
Now we've got some cold air that's on the way that's going to change over a lot of that moisture, which is why anywhere from the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma and then stretching all the way into New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado, we've got a slew of winter weather alerts in place for the next few days. Again, we've got the moisture already there, don't get me wrong, but we need the cold air for the snowfall, and it really starts to come into play tonight. Snow from Denver, Colorado, all the way south into New Mexico, as well as into the panhandles. Notice some of these colors though, the dark blues, that's heavy snowfall rates. That's going to put down a couple inches every hour. We'll start to clear it all out by Wednesday morning, so not lasting as long or lingering as long as, say, the rain that we're dealing with in the southeast. But within a fairly short time frame, we're going to put down a couple inches of snow in Texas and Colorado, heavier snow in New Mexico. But for parts of Texas, believe it or not, we're running behind schedule for snowfall so far this season. Lubbock, only 1.5 inches. Average by now, over 5. Last year, by the way, we'd already seen 10 inches of snow. So we're making up a little bit for lost time. We'll talk more, though, about your Western regional forecast coming up in just a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere.